even need to say or to start off by saying it was a seller's market in 2020? Probably not, right? But just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. So last year, and this is actually based on the MLS PIN numbers, and this is for Hampden County. And I pulled these, and these are as of December 31st, 2020. So it's not the current numbers as of today. Again, just what we ended the year off with. Listing units taken throughout the whole year, Hampden County, 4,882. Year before that, 2019, we were at 5,300 or just over 5,300. So less houses obviously came on the market.
What's the percentage difference on that? Do you know?
You're gonna ask me to do math right off the top of my head?
No, it's all right.
Listing units, houses that actually went pending. Now, this is very interesting, right? So we had less houses that came available, right? Houses that went pending, 4,721. Now, the year before, that was 4,649. So less houses came on the market, but yet more houses went under contract. Does that make sense? All right. So again,
do you think people are
high demand?
It is. Do you think people are compromising on what they really want in a house just to own a property?
I think some buyers are. Well, I wouldn't say compromising.
I wouldn't compromise. Yeah, this doesn't seem like the wrong word, but you know what I mean, right?
I think buyers are really reflecting on what's important. What are the needs?
What's important? Yeah.
Right. Yep. What is my need versus what are my wants? You know, and that's a big conversation I have with a lot of buyers: needs versus wants. Do you need a 4-car garage, or do you just want the 4-car garage? It's true. And especially in today's market, because there's such low inventory, you've got to widen your net as much as possible. So if you get really specific about that one specific thing, I want 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4-car garage, like, okay, you know, maybe there's one house that might come on this year that'll fit that. You widen that up. You know, go a little bit less on the baths, half bath instead of a full bath. Maybe they can add that. You know, maybe there's a finished room for a basement. Maybe there's another area that could be adjusted to fit their needs. Or maybe you could add the garage on if you really need it, right? All right, so this is another interesting one. Houses that actually did a price reduction last year. So in 2019, 1,871 houses did a price reduction. Last year, only 1,125 people ended up having to drop the price on their house. So again, houses are selling faster, selling stronger. Sellers are getting closer to their asking price. They're having to adjust less than what they had to do in years past. Houses actually sold. Now, 2019, 4,240. Now, I actually was thinking this number would be a lot different. Houses sold in 2020, 4,215. That's not a huge difference. So very close to the same number of houses actually sold. And again, shows you that there's just ridiculously high demand because of that. Average days on the market went down. So from 2019, we were at 61 days. In 2020, we were down to 46 days on the market. The average sale price in Hampden County was up. In 2019, we were at $234,000. At the end of 2020, Hampden County average sale price was $260,000, or over $260,000. The average price per square foot was up from $145 up to $160. And then the average sale price as a percent of the listing price. So the average sale price as a percent of the listing price in 2019, sellers were getting 98.92% of their listing price. In last year, the average seller got 100.48% of their listing price.
Wow, that's insane.
Now that is a different from original asking price, because that includes sellers that made that adjustment before they got the accepted offer. But as you know, there were some sellers that dropped that price and then ended up over the drop price because the price drop triggered multiple offers, right? So then you ended up back over that price. So that's why you have that over 100%. Now, approximate months supply of inventory and the absorption rate. So month supply of inventory was down to 0.8. Now, I know you know what this means, but I'm going to explain this just to make sure that anybody who's on understands what I'm talking about when I say month supply of inventory. So basically what you do is you figure out how many houses sold over a particular time period. And the way MLS does it, it's like a rolling 30 days. So it's like the last 30 days. Now this figures as of December 31st. So it would have been the 30 days prior. How many houses sold divided by the number of houses are actually available. Okay. And it tells you, assuming no new listings show up today on the market or that going forward, how long will it take for the remaining houses to sell? All right. So as of December 31st, if no new listings came on the market, we were at 0.8 months, which means it would take, 0.8 months, less than 4 weeks for everything to be gone. It'd be gone. All right. Now, another way to look at this is they flip this as a percentage, and that's what's called the absorption rate. So the absorption rate right now is 124.65%. And so what that means, and when it's under 100%, it's really easy. If we had a 50% absorption rate, it's really easy to understand, because you say, well, the absorption rate is what percentage houses are going to sell this month based on the demand. Well, a 50% absorption rate means about 50% of the market's going to sell. 50% of the market's going to get absorbed by those buyers. Over 100% it's hard to understand, because basically what you're saying is all the houses plus, more than what's even available is going to sell, which is odd to think. But what it is just to drive in the point in terms of how strong that demand is right now. When you compare this to years in the past, again, we ended the year at 0.8 months. The year before, we were at 1.63 months. That was in 2019, which was already a problem. 2018, we ended at 2.21. 2017, we were at the same thing, just over 2 months. So we were already experiencing lack of inventory. Now we're even worse. Now, seller's market, buyer's market. This is the tool that we use to determine that. This months of supply of inventory. And as you know, typically, and it's a little bit of opinion here. A lot of people draw 6 months at the middle of the line. Anything above 6 months is a buyer's market. Anything below is a seller's market. Some people really say it's more 4 to 6 is like an even market. But really, the whole point is, the more months of supply you have, the more of a buyer's market it is. And the less months of supply you have, the more of a seller's market it is, right? So you really can't say, well, this is how much of a market is, but you could compare it to other years. And when you consider, again, that at 4 months, we would have been talking about a seller's advantage. We have less than a month's worth of homes available for all these people to actually buy. Right. And it's a serious problem, definitely a serious problem. So some other highlights. So that was all of Hampden County. I'm just going to pull some highlights from some of the other towns. So, Agawam, absorption rate, 0.83 months. Again, they were at less 0.33, ended the year with the average price of $272,000. Blandford, average price ended at $273,000. Brimfield, average price ended up at $290,000. Again, these are all increases from years prior. Chester, $213,000. Chicopee had an over 100% absorption rate. Right now, they have a 1 month supply of inventory in Chicopee. 372 houses sold in Chicopee last year, about the same from what the year before, but houses are selling faster, down to 41 days, on the market. Another town that's 100% over the asking, the listing price. And this town at Chicopee specifically is also over 100% when it comes to percent of the original asking price. So when you're talking about including the people that drop their price, and that means these houses are selling so far above that original list asking price that we're coming up at 100.45% is what sellers in Chicopee are getting on an average. You ask a price, you're going to get more than that on average in Chicopee. East Longmeadow, the absorption rate of East Longmeadow is at 147% right now, 0.68 months of supply. Price up to 338 from 281 the year before. Granville, 1.5 months of supply right now. Hampden, days on the market's down by 35 days, from 98 to 64. Houses are selling way faster than what they were before, from 282 up to an average price of $325,000. Holland's down to 0.63 months supply of inventory. Holyoke, 0.7 month supply of inventory. That's 126% absorption rate. Their average sale price right now is $233,000. Long Meadow, 0.82 months supply of inventory. That's 122% absorption rate. Their average price is up to over $400,000. Ludlow, average price from 252 up to 271, almost a $20,000 increase in a year. Munson, that's where I'm living now. It's average sale price from 256 to 287. Days on the market from 72 down to 58. Let's see here. Montgomery had a 40%. This was an interesting one. In this town, this is a town that doesn't have much sales typically. It's a small town anyways. They had a 40% increase in the number of houses that sold in 1 year. So that's a huge increase. Palmer, 105% absorption rate, less than a month supply of inventory. Average price was up over 30 grand last year from the year before. Russell, houses, 50% more houses sold than the year before. Southwick, average sale price from 309 up to 317, again, increase there. Springfield, this is where the most sales happen, obviously, in Hampden County. Springfield, the absorption rate over 150%, 0.66 months supply of inventory at the end of December. Closed units over 1261. Average days on the market down to 38. And the average sale price went from 175 over $200,000 right now in Springfield. Another area where that percent of listing price, 101.78% of the asking price is what they're getting, right? Craziness.
I remember when I first started in Springfield, the average day on the market was like 126 days was when I first started. That's a huge difference to what, 30 something days?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
And
wow.
demand. Supply. It's very simple. Very simple.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. You know, the not enough houses, the cost of buildings, gone up. So people weren't building. That got slowed down. And then you had this pent up demand for the last couple of years. You added what happened last year, which seemed to increase demand. And it's just, a recipe for craziness. Tolland, 1.41 month supply of inventory. Wales, this is crazy. 0.4 month supply. That's a 250% absorption rate. I was saying that over 100% was hard to understand. 250% absorption rate. There's not enough houses anywhere, especially in Wales, apparently. The average listing price went from 183 to 236. That's a $50,000 increase. 1 year.
That's crazy.
It is. West Springfield, 0.64 months supply, 155% absorption rate, average sale price to 238 to 255. Westfield, 122% absorption rate, 0.82 months supply of inventory. Wilbraham, less than half a month supply in Wilbraham, 207.29% on the absorption rate at the end of December. The average sale price from 304 up to 343. Absolute craziness. So I don't know what to tell you in terms of what's gonna happen this year, but there's certainly, it's certainly, hey, it could be worse, right? It could be worse.